So this is going to be the ABC reading, just as a little special thing for Valentine's. So I'm shuffling the romance cards as we speak, and I'm just going to post up the cards A, B, C. So by now you'll have chosen A, B, or C, and this is the reveal of what the answers are. So these are the cards for A. Very soon. I'm going to pull another card for A. Okay, these are the cards for B. Good Lord. These are all intense cards, by the way. And there's kind of some negative ones in here as well. This is the other one for B. Oh, there we go, there's one. Careful what you say, what your energy you put out there. But to be fair, I'm psychic, so I was probably saying that because I was picking up on that card. This is deception. And 2 cards for C. Woo woo, sugar man. 2 cards for C, right? Okay. Another one for C. This one. Oh, interesting. Right. Okay. So, I'm also going to pull. I'm going to pull one of these because these have got interesting words like yes, no, in a year, in a few months, next week. I'm only joking. I've only got a card that says next week, but it's got the other ones. Oh, there's one for A. Communicate clearly. Right. I need to roll around the right way. Card for B, please. This one. Trust. They are interesting cards because that pile has got deception in it, but it's also got trust. Oh, what one? Who's wearing the mask? Compromise. Right. Okay. Let's put C aside. Let's put B aside. This is something like that, so I don't mix them up. Right. So for A, I'm just going to look at the time. Right. Don't want to make this too long. We have very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Now, I love this card because, you know, if you had been like, I'm sure there was something in the weekly like that about like, you know, what was the card again? It was something like, you know, and it was in the near future. So again, it's like it's like something's in the oven and it's cooking up and it's not quite the right time or it's not divine timing. Or if you're in a relationship, you know, you may be wanting things to go to like another level, but it's like it's not the right time. So it's trust. Like, you know, I often feel sorry for people like who feel a lot of like guys or women as well can feel a lot of pressure to like, you know, to like propose and stuff like that on Valentine's. And I often think, you know, how many people have actually done something like that and they didn't even want to do it? It's worrying. You know what I mean? Like you want somebody to mean it if they're going to do things like that. But you know, it's just about just trust it. And I'm using that as an example because it's like just surely if somebody's going to make a big gesture like that, you'd want them to have thought about it and not just be feeling like, right, I've been with this person a few years, this is what you do, I'll just get married now. Because I certainly know a lot of people that have done that. And it's just kind of like, you know what I mean? That's not really, and I don't mean like, I don't mean like close friends or it. I just mean it's kind of like, it's not a good idea. It's a recipe for disaster. But anyway, let's get back to the positive. Very soon, like when you think about it, and that is actually quite a good point because it's like when I was shuffling and I said, oh, there's some negative ones and then I pulled deception. It's like be careful what words you put out there. Be careful, like you don't start falling into victim mode, like oh, woe is me, like I'm lonely, I'm single, everybody's happy, everybody's got somebody. It's like how can you turn that around? And it's like in the weekly, I was like, you know. Can you maybe celebrate that you've got like this time with yourself to get to know yourself better so that when somebody does come along that you know yourself really well and you know what kind of makes you happy, you know what triggers you, you know that you're, you know, to get along with somebody else in a partnership that you will have to have that time for yourself too, so you know that already when they come along. To communicate with them, which reminds me, you know, that's probably why this card came up, communicate clearly. Like when this person does show up, you can communicate your needs because you've had all that time to get to know yourself very well. And the other card in this pile is attraction. And it says, you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. And I love that because I didn't actually read the words on the cards here. And that's kind of what I've just said, is that, you know, to attract what you want very soon into your life, you have to like speak words that are attracting what you want. You have to embody it. You have to put out that positivity and like really sort of hope and expect that whatever and whoever is turning up, and be very open about it as well, is exactly what you're a vibrational match for at this moment in time. Because bear in mind, I said in the weekly, nothing's ever permanent. So just because you attract somebody amazing, like it doesn't mean like that has to be like the one and that's you and you're locked in. It's like things are ever changing, ever flowing. It's just this might be the right person for you at this moment in time to teach you the lessons that you need to learn. Or perhaps it is the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. You just don't know, so be open to it. But at least whoever it is, you can communicate clearly. And I'm feeling like the way I'm talking, this is kind of like, you know, it's kind of more aimed at single people. So I'm just kind of tuning in to, you know, if this is you in a relationship, it's about, you know, clearly decide what it is you want. Like, do you want things to get more serious? Are you maybe not feeling it anymore and you need to communicate that you're not feeling it anymore, and maybe let that person go. Like, if you're not feeling it anymore, there's no point trying to convince yourself that you do when you don't, and just kind of be honest with each other and have that heart to heart. And maybe it's a case of you actually do want to be with each other, but you've just not been communicating clearly, and you need to sort of clear the air so that you can move forward together, or maybe move forward like apart. It'll be different for different people, but I feel like, you know, often you see people break up and it's a shame that actually if they kind of communicated and been really a bit more honest and vulnerable, that it probably would have worked out. And that's not going to be the case for everyone, but that certainly is, you know, a case for a lot of people, that it's just if they had just kind of dropped their guards a bit and communicated, that they could have worked things out. I'm being reminded of that, what's that program again? One Night with My Ex. I can't remember what channel it's on, 5 I think, in the UK, and it's like, you know, it's just interesting, isn't it, that they pick questions and they have to answer them. And I've watched it a few times, and most of the time they end up getting back together because it was just being stubborn. You know, a couple of times they haven't, and that's what I'm saying. But it's just, are you going to be that stubborn that you're going to let somebody go just because you're not willing to actually sort of be a bit more vulnerable and communicate? Like, that's your call. But it really is just about, you know, you attract more romance in your life with your current partner, or you attract a new person by putting out the best vibes possible. And I'm going to wrap that up at there. I think that was about 5 minutes. So that's A. We'll put A. We'll mix them up for when I take the pictures. I'll put them on the floor. Right, A is there. So this is B. So B is calling in your soulmate. So again, you know, what does it say? Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So this is interesting, right? Because I'm going to go with the people that are together first. I feel like this is very similar to what I said, what came through in the weekly reading. But even if you are in a partnership, you're always healing parts of yourself. Therefore, your partner is always kind of, what's the word, ebbing and flowing with what's going on with you. So if you're not feeling so great, your partner's not going to feel so great because they want you to feel great. But they also can't force you to be somewhere where you're not. So that's why people argue and stuff, because we're all at different levels of healing. So there's something about this going on that it's like these two people, like, it's like she's sending the healing and like he's bringing her into balance. So there's something about working together. So I feel like that message is coming through for people that are together. And look, it's funny that I'm going on about, like, you know, masks and stuff a lot, because this card says deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. So it's about, you know, this is saying your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So the more that you can visualize the two of you at your highest, you know, at your highest good. Like, so it's like, you know, like basically you want to be happy and you want them to be happy. And I really think that true love is that if you really meant that, it would be like, that would even mean that if you want the person you love to be happy, that perhaps they would be happier with someone else. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is a bit harsh, but it's true. It's like, you've kind of got to be honest about, are you right for each other? It's funny because I'm being drawn to, I love Long Island Medium. And on that, you know, it made me a bit sad because it looks like her and her husband are either like split up now or are gonna. But it's kind of that thing about, you know, sometimes it is time to call it a day, and they've had a very long friendship, a couple of kids, and she's so famous that, you know, that's probably affected the relationship. Who knows? But, you know, or maybe they'll just, you know, work it out and get together again. But I think I was just respecting the fact that, you know, she's been that vulnerable to share that on the programme. But I suppose it's because she's just so out there that, you know, it affects her work. And I know that being a medium, that it's like you can try and keep some stuff private, but a lot of your, you know, like because her family's so involved and because they've made quite a big thing about them being a nice couple, it's now she's something to be transparent about. Actually, do you know what? For whatever reason, they're moving in different ways. I mean, you know, I don't know because we're behind in the season, but it's just that's what popped into my mind. And it's about kind of like, you know, so thinking positive can bring about the highest good of all, and hopefully that would be that you both come to you know, a really good place within each other, and then that makes you lift higher, vibrate higher together, and be like really happy and love together. But you know, that can only happen if you cut the bullshit, is what I'm really hearing, to be frank. Like, and just like, so ladies, don't act like you're strong when you're actually dying inside. Men, don't act like you're strong when you really want to cry like a little boy. It's kind of like both is all right. Like women are allowed to like basically drop the ball and like be like, I need help, or can people help me? Like, I'm sure, what was it, let your friends help you in the week that we done. And men are allowed to not be like strong all the time. I just looked at my birthday numbers again when I said that, because it's 1840 and I'm 18th April, so it's 1840. Interesting. That happened in the weekly too. It's about, you know, men are allowed to admit that they're feeling shit and have a cry. It's that kind of, just whatever it is. These are just examples. It's like, don't hide how you're feeling to your partner. Like, and it's kind of like I always say as well, like, you know, nobody should be like hiding exactly how they feel to absolutely everyone. I always feel strongly that it's like you have to have at least one person, if not a few people, that you can just be like, drop the mask and just even show them your shadow side, like the parts of you that you don't really like, or you're a bit of ashamed of, or, you know, the bit you're like, you know, the bit when you say something you're like, oh my god, I didn't just say that. It's like, we're all human, and actually it can be quite freeing. And that's what I learned as a counsellor, you know, that most people just want a safe space to just air exactly what's in their mind. And guess what, nobody's going to point the finger and be like, oh, you're a terrible person. It's just, everybody needs a safe space to kind of show their vulnerability. But it's about, you know, I feel like people that have chose B, it's about where are you doing that, and then your partner's doing it back. So it's like you're sending out vibes of, oh, I'm this kind of person, when actually, you know, you shut the door when you go home after your date or something, you're like, oh my god, like that was totally not me. Like, I wish I could just be who I really am, and then see if they're still all right with that. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of feeling. I feel like that's the situation someone's in. It's like, just be honest with yourself. Just be exactly who you are, and see if they stay. And then at least if they do, you know that you know you don't have. It's not going to be exhausting trying to pretend you're somebody else. But at the same time, you know, it's that kind of thing. If I do feel there's something with this, it's like there's maybe something going on where you have, like, listen, like, look, I'm being on the fact of calling in your soulmate. It's like, you've done all of this. So say you've done your prayers, you've done your affirmations, you've visualized, and then this person comes in. But it's like, because you weren't really putting out who you really are and really honest with yourself, which it's not wrong, because some people are just not conscious that they're not truly being themselves. It's like you've kind of attracted somebody else that isn't really being themselves. So, and it's kind of like, what do you do? And that the trust is coming in here for me, that you've got to really trust your intuition on this one. Like, either trust that it's the right person, but it's that you just need to break down both of your walls and be a bit more vulnerable with each other and have a heart to heart. Like, this is so funny. I just said this in A as well, but it's because Venus is in Pisces, and it's about, you know, sensitivity and feelings and love and unconditional love and just being accepted for who you are. So there is a bit of, you know, that's what is coming in for me here, that this is about. It's about, you know, trust your intuition on this one, because Pisces is a very psychic energy too. So it's about trust. I just want to keep saying that. Trust your intuition, because just because somebody's deceiving you or wearing a mask, it doesn't mean that they're not this. That they're not this. You know, everyone uses totally different words for it. I believe we've got loads of soulmates. Like, friends can be soulmates, families can be soulmates. So it's not always in a romantic sense, but I'm taking this to be like somebody that's like a lifelong partner, somebody that your ideal sort of person. But it's kind of like even that person. So if you're lucky enough to have that, or you're calling them, even they can be wearing masks that aren't exactly who they really are. That is that they're maybe not realised that yet, that they're not quite in touch with themselves. Therefore, it's just not in alignment. So it's just trust your intuition. But for some people, it will be that because you weren't really who you are, you've attracted somebody else that isn't who they are. And it's about, maybe it's time to trust that if that falls away, then that's why it did. Oh my God. These are tough ones to work out tonight. Right, I'm going to put that down there. That's B. This is C. Right, so I think this is about 15 minutes. So these cards say religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. And then the next card is give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. And then the second, the angel answer card is compromise. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? Like they all do tie in quite well together. And what kind of really comes in for me here is on this card, it has got like all, I've never noticed this before, but it has got like all the spiritual sort of symbols above her head, like making a crown, like the ankh, and I don't know what the other ones are called, but it is all the other sort of religions. So it's not really the word religion that sticks out to me when I pull this, it's the spiritual path bit. And it's the fact that, you know, like I say, we're all spirits in a body. So it's like just because you have chosen to be in a romantic partnership or a marriage even, it's like you're all still on your similar journey. And that's probably why I shared in B about on the Long Island Medium, like it looks like she's going to split with her husband, and it's like it's a shame because I always just thought, God, they look like the perfect family and that they're best friends and they're happy and everything. So it just shows you that it's like, well, sometimes always what you see isn't what it actually is, and that's obviously why that came into my head. But it's about, like, you know, your spiritual path can totally affect your love life. So if you're having a lot of shit happen to you, then it is going to affect your love life because your partner's either going to have to be in it with you and support you, and you know, and just realise that this is just part of your journey, or they're not going to be able to handle it and they're off. Do you know what I mean? Like, to be quite frank, and I hope that's not the case if you're in an actual marriage and they actually, you know, see it through, because that's what marriage is all about, like going through the good times and the hard times. But it's like, you know, it's about even like, I'm feeling like this is for people that are dating. It's like if somebody can't handle you and how you are, then like they're not the right person anyway. So that was quite strong, but it's true. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. So it's about, you know what I mean? I'm feeling that it's like, so it's funny. I do attract a lot of other healers and mediums and stuff, but I feel like it's like, you know, it's like you've got a job like this, like it's quite, you know, different, and you know, you're always kind of tapped into spirit, and I mean, you can sort of turn it off a bit, but I mean, I don't know, I struggle with that. But it's about kind of like, so it could be, you know, just not to let your work override your personal life and just kind of bring it more into balance. Yeah, that is what it is. Because look, then you've got compromise, and that's literally got scales on it. And it's about, you can still be that Reiki teacher, healer, medium, whatever, like, you know, a mystical kind of job I'm feeling. Or it might not be that this is your job and it's just you're getting really into going for Reiki healing or going for readings or something, and it's like your partner doesn't get it and they're like, doesn't even believe in it. It's like, what the hell? But it's like, if they appreciate and respect you, it's like they've got to appreciate that you've got your own views and beliefs, and that's what works for you. And you know, and hopefully you do the same for them. It's a compromise. So this compromise card is coming in quite a few ways. It's like, you know, that's your thing, whether that's your job or that's what you enjoy to do, and it's about working your partnership to compromise. Like maybe there's something that they like doing that you're not that keen on, but you need to compromise with them, because that's what love's all about. Is, you know, compromise, isn't it? And just appreciating that if you love someone, then you let them be themselves and you don't try to change them too much. But anyway, or at all, not too much. Yeah, you just basically let them be exactly who they are. And on that note, actually, I'm being drawn to see. Let's see if one. This is for everyone. I'll put in that this is a card for. So this is for everyone, for the kind of love Valentine's vibes, whatever you want to call it, because this is a life-changing week, and it's not about Valentine. Well, I just seen the Just Be Yourself card. It's about more that because this is an eclipse, and eclipses are always life-changing. So it's interesting that Valentine's Day falls on the eclipse. I'm not sure if that always happens or if that's just special about this week, but it does sort of, it's kind of like a standing joke with astrologers that eclipses do bring about a lot of breakups. Like breakups and reunions, so that's probably why reconciliation came up with. Right, so let's see if a card comes up. General energy. Wow. Oh, I'm going to leave it at that. Look, love heals fear. So it says the power of your love can help bullies and angry people to be less afraid, and that's really what this is all about. You know, getting away from like romance is brilliant, and if you're in a relationship, I hope you have lots of romance. If you're not in a relationship, I hope you treat yourself well and put out thoughts there that you deserve somebody to treat you really well, and that you deserve it and that you value yourself. But ultimately, Valentine's Day as well, it actually makes me quite emotional because a couple of years ago, it's a long story, but one of my elderly neighbours actually fell, and I was the only one that heard her, and I phoned the police, and you know, basically she was in quite a bad way. I won't go into too much detail, and the ambulance came and stuff, and it was really quite it was lovely that that I heard her, and that that they managed to get her the help and stuff, but it was really quite traumatizing for me because I was a bit freaked out that that I'd heard this woman, because it really was to do in my clairaudience. Like, my hearing's just insane. Like, I can hear things really, really far away. So don't need to talk about me in a room because I can hear you. It used to happen all the time at uni. But it's like, but you know what I mean? It's basically on a serious note that, like, so this happened, say, in September or something, and then I went up again to just to have a wee cup of tea and to meet like who had helped. Like, I happened to bump into her husband in the stair, and yeah, and it was just lovely, really. And it just always sticks out in my head that it was actually on Valentine's Day, and I remember thinking how lovely that was. That it was like unconditional love, and it was like that's what really came up for me, just kind of that kindness of me, really, of me to do that and to not ignore it. And I think that is something that I had to really work hard to appreciate myself, that it's like that was a good thing that I actually followed my intuition and made that call, because to be honest with you, I thought it was something a lot more sinister than somebody that had fallen and hurting themselves. It sounded, I won't go into details, but the screams and that didn't sound good. So it was because obviously she was in so much pain. So it's just about don't underestimate how much a kind word can help somebody, but also doing something about something you're worried about. Like, if I hadn't called the police out of concern there, because her husband hadn't heard her, basically, because it's 2 floors like mine, it's like, he was sleeping. So it's just kind of like, never underestimate what your words and what your actions can do. And that goes both ways. Like, be careful with your words, that they do heal and not harm. But I feel like that's really, really strong this week with the Venus and Pisces energy. And of course, as we get to the end of this week, it is the Pisces moon. So that's a very sensitive time. And it's funny that we're at the end of the week, we're at Pisces moon, and an eclipse is also an ending from a beginning, and then Pisces moon after that is Aries moon, and that's the beginning of the zodiac. So lots of symbolic things going on here with the week. But just remember that love heals fear. The power of your love can help bullies and angry people be less afraid. So on that note, I hope you enjoyed the ABC readings, and I hope, because I'll put this out on Valentine's Day, I hope you had a lovely Valentine's Day today, or I hope you have a lovely night, whatever you're doing, whether you're with your love or whether you're with your number one love, which should be yourself, and you're treating yourself. Either way, have a good one, guys, and enjoy the rest of your week.